What's the definition of insanity in the staffing industry? Well, actually, anywhere. I know you've heard it before. It's doing the same things over and over again and expecting a different result. And in staffing, right now, I see a lot of people are doing some insane things when it comes to driving sales. What are they doing? You know it. Just making more calls. That's been the playbook for 30 plus years. If I want more business, make more calls. But as I'm sure you're experiencing, make more calls is no longer enough. If I really want to stand out, I need to do something different. I need to change the way that I sell. So instead of just make more calls, how about creating a growth system, a more strategic, more complete approach to driving staffing sales growth? So in a picture, this is what it looks like. We're going to talk about some of these elements, but I want you to start with the center of this diagram and say, hey, if we're going to sell more, we have to have a strategic plan to target prospects. We have to have systematic outreach so our salespeople know what to do and we're hitting every prospect in every way possible. I'm using multi-channel engagement. So wherever my prospects look, hey, they're seeing our name, our brand, our value. I'm going to optimize conversion paths so the most people who are interested will make it to the point where they're placing job orders with us. And I'm going to take a long-term perspective because most of the people I want to sell to are probably not yet in the market for staffing services, and I need to be there at the right time in the right place. So let's walk through the details. Step one is about building your foundation. And if you think about your foundation, it's creating messaging that sells. And that starts with positioning. So positioning, you can think about it as where is the aisle in the supermarket you want to live? If I told you to get a box of Cheerios, you'd know exactly where to find it in the cereal aisle. But if I told you to go to a staffing company, is that the staffing aisle? Is that the workforce solutions aisle? Is that the statement of work aisle? How do you define the aisle that you want to play in? Because how you define it has a big impact on your success. And then you have to think about within that aisle, what's the shelf, or in this case, what's the slice of the pie that I want to own? So I'm going to pick one slice that's all mine, and I'm going to say, hey, the rest of the market, you get the rest of that pie, but that one slice, nobody's going to take it from me. So positioning is thinking about where I want to be and what I want to own. Now, often I'll come up with positioning by thinking about key differentiators. What makes your company stand out? What are those attributes? And how do those attributes translate to unique value for your clients? And then the last part of messaging is to put that all together into a core story, how you talk to people in a way that gets them interested in the value you can provide and the problems you can solve and gets them to see your positioning. Once we have that messaging defined, then we have to optimize our websites to get response. It's kind of scary, but something like 98, yeah, it's that high, percent of website visitors don't ever fill out a form, place a job order, apply to a job. We need to get more visitors turned into leads. And to do that, we're going to think about who's coming to our website and what's driving them there. Why are they coming? We're going to think about how do we hook them so that they don't leave, giving them something of value, making different kinds of offers. And what do we do to eliminate the barriers? We don't want a website that's slow. We don't want navigation that's confusing. We don't want to have content that lacks clarity. So we're going to have planned conversion paths. We're going to have primary and secondary calls to action. We're going to give people multiple ways to respond. We're going to have a lot of proof, social proof, reviews and testimonials, data proof, case studies and performance metrics. And then we're going to allow people to get instantaneous response. And then after they leave the site, ongoing engagement through automation and retargeting advertising. What we want to do is make sure that every visitor has a great experience. We're driving them to take an action, and then we're following up. And that leads to now doing sales enablement, helping our salespeople be more successful by first giving them a better process, a systematic process. Could be integrated direct marketing, doing omni-channel marketing that surrounds every prospect, providing the team with frameworks for selling like spin selling or the challenger sale, and then using AI to provide coaching, feedback, and even do role practice. We also want to give our salespeople better tools for selling. So the right collateral that helps to sell, explainer videos so that we can introduce services and concepts in a very consistent manner, giving them lead tracking software, video, email, technology tools that make it easier to communicate and see who's visiting your website, giving them platforms for doing better proposals, and then making sure we have access to market data and insight that our clients want. And lastly, sales enablement is about providing better training, and that AI role practice is an easy and can be no cost way to do it. Next up, we have buyer enablement because right now, most buyers of staffing services, they want to do their research before talking to you. So we're helping them to do the buying the way they want to buy so that by the time they show up to talk to the salesperson, they're ready to have a really meaningful conversation. Buyer enablement is about getting people more than halfway through the selling process before the first sales call. So we can provide content that educates, self-service tools, and proof of our value. Again, the data proof and the social proof that we talked about on the website. Step five is about employer attraction, getting people to come to our website. So we need to get our ideal clients to find us and contact us. And we do this through digital marketing, SEO and AIO, paid advertising, thought leadership content, retargeting and re-engagement ads. And that's going to lead to step six, which is not only do we have to attract them, but we have to stay top of mind through nurturing. This is our always on marketing that's continuing to build our positioning, educate, and constantly be soft selling. So we're adding value with our nurturing. We're reinforcing our value. We're deepening those relationships we have with prospects. We're trying to build trust because ultimately staffing is a trust sale. We're giving our salespeople something new to talk about every single month. So there's a reason to make calls. And then we can amplify this whole set of marketing with automation tools. We can make more impact, ensure consistent outreach, ensure persistent follow-up. And we do that by using our ATS and CRM sales automation tools. So we're automating based on data in our ATS. We're automating outbound sequences. We're automating re-engagement. We're also automating our website, whether it's things like autoresponders or ongoing campaigns. We're doing social automation. So when someone engages us on the social platform, we can automate there as well. The idea to the automation is making sure that when a salesperson is busy, we are always doing the consistent follow-up. We're telling our story the way we want it told, and we're building on the promise, the brand promise that we made to each prospect and each client. So if we put it all together, this is the staffing growth engine. It's not just about making more calls because this year that's not enough. We need to have this systematic process that ties together all of these different ways to reach prospects, get our message through, help our salespeople be more productive, stay top of mind, build our value, and get people to respond. If you do that consistently, you will find that your staffing company greatly outperforms your competitors.